Chapter 3. There it is, Aunt Jen's place. Tails up, boarding and grooming, cried Kat, reading the sign. She and Maya ran ahead of the rest of the family, past the barber shop, the bank, and the hardware store. Then they waited impatiently for everyone to catch up. Kat's father, Mr. Reynolds, frowned as he came up and read a sign in the store window. Walk-ins are welcome. Don't most dogs walk in? He asked. Though I guess some dogs might have dirty paws, so carrying them in would be better. Funny, Dad, Cat grinned. You know it means that people don't have to make an appointment ahead of time. They can just walk in with their dogs. Oh, yeah, right, Mr. Reynolds said, grinning back at her. But then he frowned for real. I just hope Jen can handle it all. Your aunt is a very enthusiastic person, especially when it comes to dogs. I love her dearly, but sometimes she can get a bit carried away with her projects. Oh, Robert. Oh, Robert, said Mrs. Reynolds, you worry too much about your sister. I'm sure she'll be fine. Come on, gang, let's go in. Yeah, let's go, said Kat. She and Maya led the way into Tails Up. The waiting room had a small couch and three chairs. There was a scale and shelves lined with bags of dog food. At the front desk was a computer, a cash register, and a phone. There were two customers waiting in a little room. One was a young man who sat with a white Shih Tzu on his lap. The other was a woman with a long-haired Shetland sheepdog lying at her feet. Customers looked impatient. Just then, Aunt Jen came flying out of the room in the back. She wore a white grooming coat. Her brown hair was mostly pulled back in a ponytail. A few stray hairs frizzed around her forehead. With her was a thin man holding a tiny chihuahua. So how was she? The man asked nervously. It was Chiquita's first time being groomed. She was a natural, very calm, Aunt Jen said. It was a pleasure to groom her. The man smiled, relieved. He quickly paid his bill and left. And now, hello to you, my loyal family, Aunt Jen cried, hurrying towards them with her arms open. She gave each family member a huge hug. Hello, my kitty cat, she said. That was her special name for Cat. She lifted Cat right off her feet. Then she turned to Maya. And my most special niece's most special friend, you come too. And Maya was swept up in a hug as well. The place looks fantastic, Mr. Reynolds said. Yes, well done, Mr. Reynolds added. Aunt Jen plastered a kiss on his cheek. He patted her on the back with awkwardly. Oh, it is so nice to have a fan club, Aunt Jen said, please. Would you all like a tour? This, of course, is the reception area, she said, throwing her arms wide. When I get a receptionist, this is where she or he will sit. Mr. Reynolds looked worried. You don't have hired any help yet? Mrs. Reynolds poked him, but Aunt Jen answered cheerfully, Nope, can't quite afford it yet. Excuse me? It was the woman with the Sheltie. She was standing now. I'm Mrs. Fennel, and I have been waiting for quite some time. I believe my Clark Davis is next to be groomed. Aunt Jen ruffled her brother's hair. Oh, Mrs. Fennel, she said, you don't think this shaggy guy needs some emergency attention? Kat and Maya giggled. Mrs. Fennel frowned. Oh, well, she stammered. No, I meant you. Your Sheltie is beautiful, Kat said quickly. What's his name? Mrs. Reynolds' frown vanished. Her face lit up. Why, thank you. His name is Clark Davis. Clark Davis. Kat tried not to giggle again. I love dogs, she said. May I pet him? Certainly, the woman replied. Please. Kat knelt beside the brown and white dog. Gently, she ran her hand over his back. His hair is so soft, she exclaimed. Well, I brush him twice a week, and then I have clipped once a month. The woman turned to Aunt Jen. My old groomer moved away last month. I was hoping you might be as good as him, although it's doubtful. No one has ever had a way with Clark Davis like Roberto did. And what about us? It was the young man with the Shih Tzu in his lap. His dog was asleep, but he wasn't. Mr. Winston, you're welcome to leave Claude here until I'm ready for him, suggested Aunt Jen. I have several crates in the back room. He'd be quite comfortable there while he waits, and then you don't have to sit here with him. Leave Clyde in the crate. The man looked horrified. Never. Well, well, just be a second, explained Aunt Jen. Promise. She pointed to the room that she just came out of, my grooming room. Pat peeked in. She saw two large grooming tables and two stand dryers. Several grooming brushes, clippers, shavers, shampoo bottles, and other equipment were scattered nearby. Aunt Jen opened a door to another large room with windows. There were several big crates lined up side by side. This is where the dogs waited to be groomed. Will stay if their owners will let them. She winked at Kat. And the dogs I board will be lodged here as well. I guess I could call it a doggy daycare room. She pointed to the stairway. Up there is a large room where I can do some puppy training. And there's a big yard out back that I can use too. So you see, I'm all set. And you're going to live here too? Kat's father raised his eyebrows. Yep. There's another room upstairs that is now officially my bedroom. And there's a small bathroom and kitchen too, said Aunt Jen. Grooming, boarding, training. You're planning to do all of this, Jen? Mr. Reynolds asked doubtfully. Sure am, Aunt Jen said confidently with a toss of her ponytail. Miss Reynolds nudged her husband and turned to his young sister. This all looks wonderful, she said firmly. Aiden pulled out one of his earphones. Very cool, he agreed, nodding. Thanks, Reynolds family, said Aunt Jen with a grin as Kat, parents, and Aiden went back out to the reception room. Aunt Jen motioned for Kat and Maya to stand behind. I don't really want your dad to know this yet, Kat, she said quietly. He'll just think I'm over my head, but, well, I have a little surprise to show you girls. Kat and Maya stared at one another. What could it be? Chapter 4. Follow me, said Aunt Jen. She led them to the far side of the room. A crate sat under the window in the sunshine, but it wasn't empty. Oh, Kat breathed. A puppy, said Maya. A golden yellow puppy lay in the corner of the crate, all curled up, sleeping peacefully. But he must have heard the girls' voices because then he woke up. He lifted his head and looked at the girls with a beautiful blue eyes. Then he jumped to his feet and wagged his tail energetically. Kat's heart melted. His name is Bailey, explained Aunt Jen. He's a Labrador Retriever pup. He's only 8 weeks old. His owner, Kelly, has had him for a few days, but she found out last night that she has to go out of town for 3 days. There aren't many kennels nearby. and most of them are large. She didn't want to take him to a big kennel. She saw my sign, so she called just this morning to see if I take Bailey until she's back. Aunt Jen shrugged. Look at him. I just had to say yes. Kat looked at the adorable little puppy. She knew exactly what Aunt Jen meant. This was one of the things she loved about her aunt. She'd do anything to help a dog. I'll just have to scoot over here every once in a while and check in on him, said Aunt Jen. And then tonight and tomorrow night, I'll bring his crate up to my bedroom. It should be fine. It sounded like Aunt Jen was trying to convince herself. Of course it'll be fine, Kat said reassuringly. She slipped her arm around Aunt Jen's waist as they headed back to the front door. Tails up is amazing, Aunt Jen, said Kat, and so are you. Totally amazing, said Maya. It's like a dream come true, girls, said Aunt Jen. Listen, I'm quite busy today, opening day and all, but I'm sure things will settle down by tomorrow. I'll have lots of free time in the days ahead. I'm sure it will take a while for word to get around about my new salon, so feel free to drop by anytime and keep me company. We can chat puppies together. Tomorrow after school? Can we come then? Kat asked quickly. Please, Maya added. Of course, Aunt Jen said with a smile. The girls grinned at each other. It was a plan.